Hello, Smash Com Tourney of Tourney fans, and welcome to the Pro Championship. The championship that allows teams to select their 8th fighter and draft whoever come top 8 in the Delta League. So we'll remind ourselves of that, and then we'll go into the pros. So we've got brand new fighter Ridley, all to play for. Captain Falcon, Greninja, brand new fighter Sora. Ness, brand new fighter Chrom. Falco, and legendary Roy the Boy. So the pros are the second and third best fighter of every team. And every team only has 2 pros, and they have to be shared out fairly. So this is where a lot of the trades happen. So if you've not watched my Phase 1 video, make sure you go to that. But apart from that, let's crack on and let's see who comes where. Now, this is always a complicated one because the 2 top, let's say, Gumtech fighters could come first and second, and they don't get to draft 2 fighters. So then the second highest fighter will go to the 3rd person, if that makes sense. I'll try and make it make sense if it doesn't. Anyway, we start off with Pokemon Trainer versus Richter. Now, there's a lot of fighters here who were in the Beta League last season because they had only just moved up and drafted. For example, Richter, who ended up becoming a pro. So a lot of these fighters haven't fought before, so it should be quite interesting. Now, Pokemon Trainer was ranked 9th, which means he's the highest ranked pro. So technically he's favourite to win. But usually the Vipers, who Richter is a part of, I should say what teams they're part of. Richter's a part of the Cosmo Vipers, Pokemon Trainer's part of the Gumtech, and usually the Vipers do beat the Gumtech. Statistically. So far, Pokemon Trainer is proving that theory correctly. He's also changed Squirtle to Ivysaur to hopefully do some bigger hits. I couldn't see where Richter was there. Oh, there's a bus. I don't know what's going on with the bus. So obviously these fighters just want to get as far as they can, because that top space, getting Ridley in the team would be an absolute shout. And it looks like... No. I was going to say, it looks like Ridley's lost, but I am incorrect. Which is normal for this, if you're used to watching this. Now, if I was an energy source fighter, I'd be banking on coming 4th so I can get Sora. However, what's just happened here is Charizard fell, which means that Richter, who was doing pretty well for quite a while, wins. Was doing quite badly for quite a while. Oh man, I'll get there in a minute. So let's try again. So Richter, who was doing really, really badly, ended up winning. Pokemon Trainer, who was doing really, really well, ended up losing. Now, how much damage did he take? 125. Now, damage shouldn't play too much of an important role in this tournament, but you just never know. It's worth noting it down just in case. And that puts Richter in 1st place currently, which means that the Cosmo Vipers would get Ridley. However, that was only the 1st match. So next up we have Steve versus Sonic. So Sonic is actually the 2nd lowest ranked pro fighter, and has just moved over to Gorilla Limon, who have the 2 lowest pro fighters, which is Sonic and Dark Samus. Now, I don't think Sonic's a terrible shout, to be honest. Saying that, Steve is absolutely destroying him at the moment. It's going to be interesting because with the likes of like Richter, Steve, Pyromithra, Banjo, those guys haven't fought in the Alpha League before, so it should be quite interesting to see how they get on. And at the moment, Steve has proven that he belongs there by absolutely destroying Sonic, and Sonic is out. As quickly as that, Steve wins for the Cock-a-doodle dudes. And Sonic loses, and I think he only took 18 damage? 17 damage according to this. Sorry, I was wrong. And Steve goes through to face off against Richter. It's currently 1st. Anyway, we have Meta Knight versus Kirby in an Obsidian Crystal League match. Now, let's see how that's getting on. Okay, so Meta Knight and Kirby both have 2, so this is actually quite an important match, to be honest, because no one else is above 2. So having 3 would be pretty key at this point. Kirby is obviously part of the Gumtech, and Meta Knight is part of the Vipers, and the Vipers already have someone through. And the Tech do not, because they fought in the first round, and now here they are fighting again. And they even recognise that. So the Tech need to win this, really. So we've got to be rooting for Kirby, who wins. So the Gum Tech do get through, and Kirby going over to the Crystal League beats Meta Knight. So Kirby now has 3 wins, and we go back over to the Pro Championship where we've got Kirby with 1, Meta Knight with 1 loss, and Meta Knight takes 41. Like I said, I don't know if that will matter or not, but we'll see. Well done to Kirby, getting through, currently in first place. Everyone's always currently in first place. So here we are, we have Robin from the Shroom Dogs now versus Dark Samus, Gorilla Lemon. So both these guys in new teams, guys/girls, sorry. Robin was last season's Pro Champion, so won that for the Fossil Fuels, who he's been a part of for 2 series now. See how he gets on at the Shroom Dogs. He's lucked out and got the worst Pro Fighter, and is currently winning against said lowest Pro Fighter. Obviously Dark Samus is an interesting one really, because Dark Samus won the Amethyst League, which is what got her 5+ points, and somehow put her in Pro status, but apart from that she didn't really do too well for the rest of the series. So here she is in Series 3 as a Pro. I don't know how long she'll hold on to that, but time will tell. This is a good place to start showing what you're made of as she faces off against Robin. The win here would be mammoth for Dark Samus and Gorilla Lemon, who have already lost Sonic. And obviously a risk here is if Gorilla Lemon end up quite low, they're going to end up with Roy the Boy. And for a team, okay, not to worry, but for a team who have not done too well, the Lemon really need to bounce back in Series 3. But Robin has just lost, which means that Dark Samus gets through, and the Gorilla Lemon have a very high fighter through against all odds. Let's go Dark Samus. I didn't look at Robin's damage there. Let's say for now it was 50. we'll just see how important that is by the end. This is a good fight. So we have Dr. Mario versus Pyramithra. Sorry, I was multitasking. Yes, Dr. Mario for the Red Robots versus Pyramithra for the Fossil Fuels. And the Red Robots and Fossil Fuels do duel twice. So again, one of those teams could be knocked out, and whoever comes last gets Roy the Boy. So at the moment, has anyone got an opportunity? Tech? The Dogs. So the Dogs haven't won one yet. Technically, we could have a fighter from each team get through, but still 4 fights to go in this first round. So the Vipers, Dudes, Tech and Lemon are currently through. Okay, Pyramithra not doing so well. They were almost all-stars at one point, and now they're dead. Which is a shame, really, because I really like it. Which means that the Red Robots, the team of last series, have pulled through instantly. Pyramithra are out, taking damage of 33, obviously. Had to be 33. Which means in the next fight, Little Mac really needs to prevail against Pichu. Dr. Mario through. Well done, Dr. Mario. So we have our first energy source fighter, Pac-Man versus Sheik. Now, like I said, I'm rooting for the energy source to get through and somehow end up in 4th and get Sora, but that's almost impossible to plan. Just have to see how it goes. Sheik still at the Shroom Dogs. A bit like Dark Samus, really. Sheik didn't have the best series, but got that Crystal League win in the Sapphire League, so that helped massively. Pac-Man, on the other hand, did really well. And the Source have ended up with some really good pros with Pac-Man and Banjo, to be honest. Let's say the Dogs have someone through. No, this is the Dogs' last chance as they lost Robin. So Sheik needs to get through here for the Dogs, who, a bit like the Lemon, are historically pretty bad, so they want a good draft fighter. Roy the Boy isn't really going to cut it, to be honest, for them. The last 2 series, the Source, the Dogs, and Limon have all ended up in the bottom 3. Those guys need good fighters, and this is the Dogs' only opportunity. I have no idea what's going on. Sorry, there's a massive statue head. And it's looking bad for Sheik currently. Oh, it's an assist trophy. This little artist guy. Okay, Pac-Man is doing pretty well. Come on. No, oh, I thought that was it, but it's not it. Still going strong. And that's it. First blood for the energy source, which means that I'm pretty sure the Shroom Dogs will end up with Roy the Boy, which is an absolute disaster of a draft. Sheik took 81 damage, and Pac-Man is through. And faces Dr. Mario in the next round. Let's go. So here we go. This is, well, I said about the Dogs getting Roy the Boy, but it all depends on Little Mac here, who has beaten Pichu twice before, and Pichu's only beaten him once. So this could be quite interesting. The robots do usually beat the Fuels as well. It's probably helped by the fact the robots won last series and won so many fights. So Little Mac needs to win here to almost guarantee that the Fossil Fuels don't get Roy the Boy. And I've got nothing, like, I love Roy the Boy, obviously, crowd favourite. Shout outs to Roy, my boy. You know, I don't want to slander Roy the Boy because he's a legend, but he's just not that good of a fighter. Always gets drafted though, obviously. Every time he gets relegated, he doesn't improve much. But we saw Wolf last series, in Series 2, not win a single fight and then win a tournament. And Wolf only won 5 fights in that whole series, and that was just winning a tournament, so anything could happen. This is a good fight so far. And Little Mac wins, which means the Fossil Fuels are safe. So well done to Little Mac. And Pichu. So that's opened up everything once more, and we don't know who is going to get what. Pichu has taken 93, which is pretty good. 0.093, if I can type it correctly. And Little Mac gets through. We have an absolute mammoth fight here of King K. Rool from the Cockadoodle Dudes versus Banjo and Kazooie from the Energy Source. Now, no team has 2 fighters through yet, so this will be the first one. It could be the Source, could be the Dudes. And let's big up King K. Rool quickly, who was the one of the best fighters of last series. Wasn't as good as Byleth, but was the most improved fighter, and obviously won the Crystal League as well, which really helped our Ultimate Dream Team champion, King K. Rool Rules and Rosie, win that Ultimate Dream Team championship. And at the moment, King K. Rool is decimating and continuing how he did last series of being an absolute beast. Now, let's not forget as well, King K. Rool was in the Beta League, so this will be his first time in the Alpha League. How will he compare? And so far, pretty damn good, as these X2 Beta League fighters smash it out. And at the moment, Banjo is looking out of his depth, but he gets a good attack in there. He could do with getting his special, which he's got, which he's also landed. He's done quite a bit of damage. I don't think it's going to kill him, but I have been wrong, as Banjo gets through, which means the Source have 2 fighters through. What a day. And King K. Rool is out. So the highest seeded fighter in at the moment is Kirby, as King K. Rool loses to Banjo and Kazooie, which obviously I'm happy to see. Let's go Banjo. And we go through to round 2. So like I said, at the moment, it's impossible to tell who's going to get who, bar the fact that the Shroom Dogs will most likely get Roy the Boy. But first up, we have Richter versus Steve. Steve has beaten Richter twice before. So let's see what happens. Richter for the Cosmo Vipers and Steve for the Cockadoodle Dudes. And remember, it's only the Energy Source who have 2 fighters left. So if you go out now, you could risk getting one of the bottom 4, which is Ness, Crom, Falco, and Roy the Boy. So Crom would actually be a pretty good shout, to be honest. Falco wouldn't be, as he's had 2 series and has a lot of bad stats. Ness could turn it around, to be honest. Don't think his stats are that bad. At the moment, Richter is the one who is destroying Steve, and Steve's actually ranked higher than Richter. Steve's our 2nd highest ranked fighter left in the tournament. Needs to fight back, but Richter is very good. Again, was very popular in Ultimate Dream Team. The Cosmo Vipers are going to look to bounce back as they won Series 1, but obviously lost to the Red Robots in Series 2. So a good draft fighter here could be so important for them. Oh, I can't believe the Shroom Dog's going to get Roy the Boy. That's a disaster. So is that Wario? Did they get Wario? Wario and Roy the Boy. Oh, that is... Eesh. That is bad. It's been a pretty long fight. Steve isn't giving up. Oh, I thought that was going to be it for him there. Oh no, Richter. I know Richter somehow lived. He is lucky. That was either intentional or he got lucky. I'm going to say he got lucky. He's picked up his final smash. He may not even need it at this rate. No, but he has used it. Okay, Steve should be dead here. I'm even going to start putting the stats in. Did it pay off? Okie dokie. So, Steve, what was your damage? 061. And Richter gets through, which is good. Obviously, well, getting through is top, but remember, winning would get Ridley. Coming 4th would get Sora, so a win here, or in the next few matches for the Energy Source, could end us with Sora, but we'll see. For now, we have Kirby from the Gumtech versus Dark Samus from Gorilla Limon. Again, never fought before. We have a pure Alpha League fighter versus a Beta League fighter. It's now Alpha League. And Dark Samus has, you know, fought back in that last round against Robbins. To everyone's shock. And Dark Samus is decimating Kirby here. This could be it. That is it. Dark Samus wins. Gorilla Limon wanting Ridley. That is huge. It's not good for Kirby though, whose percent is going to be pretty low. It's 8%. That's terrible. Dark Samus absolutely smashing it there. Which means that the tech could end with Falco, who they had before when in Series 1. Don't think that's a good pull, to be honest. Anyway, we have Dr. Mario versus Pac-Man. Let's go Pac-Man. Dr. Mario for the Red Robots, the winning team of last series. We could do with them not getting a brand new draft fighter. Who did they get in the Gamma League? Did they get someone? No, the Robots got Corin, so... And then again, the Robots last series got Roy the Boy and Duck Hunt Duo, both who are returning fighters, and they still won the league, so it doesn't really mean anything, to be honest. Every series, stuff can change. Except for Sephiroth, who we saw win the All-Star Championship. He's just the king. Okay, that's great, Pac-Man. Come on, just leave him. Leave him to die. That's it. That's excellent for the energy source. Pac-Man. 2 for 0, and Dr. Mario is out. Which again means 0.4. 0.04. It does mean the Red Robots could end with Crom or Ness, maybe. Yeah, potentially. At the moment it's Crom, but it all depends what happens here with the fossil fuels. As we see, Banjo and Kazooie face off against them. And here we go. These guys ever fought before? No. That's because Little Mac again, Alpha League fighter versus Banjo, the newly appointed Alpha League fighter. So all these guys will be in the Alpha League now. If you've heard me say Beta League, it's because they played in it last series. And obviously the Alpha League's meant to be the harder one, where all the best fighters are, so you've got to prove your worth there. It's all good for King K. Rool to do well in the Beta League, but Alpha League's where it's at. pretty even currently. And the Fuels will want to get through here. Or they're going to end up with Ness or Crom. I think, by the way, I've still got to work it all out, but I'm pretty sure looking at it early, that's where it's going to belong. That's a great hit there from Little Mac, who at the moment is dominating. That should be it. No, that move wasn't as strong as I thought, but that move was, which means the Fossil Fuels are through. So now I have no idea who's going to get who, to be honest, because there's fighters everywhere. So Banjo, damage was 61. Oh, well done to Banjo. Could be, well, Banjo and Steve are on the exact same there, so we'll have to see what happens. So obviously I want it to be as fair as possible. Anyway, Little Mac, well done to Little Mac getting through and faces off against Pac-Man in the next round. And let's go Dark Samus against Richter. So that's the Cosmo Vipers versus Gorilla Limon. So this is for the top 4 now. So who's up for grabs? You've got Ridley, you've got Captain Falcon, Greninja and Sora. Now Greninja is the worst one to get out of there. Captain Falcon only did one series before, so he could be pretty good this time round, who knows. But Ridley and Sora are the ones to get, which is 1st and 4th, so let's see what happens here. Now this will be interesting for 4th and 1st place, really. 3rd is the one to not get, which, oh no, I'll bet you Pac-Man comes 3rd now. Any money. Okay, Dark Samus has picked up Bomberman. It's not great on a level like this, to be honest. And Richter is decimating at the moment. Cosmo Viper's wanting Ridley. Okay, is Dark Samus going to go for the final smash? She isn't at the moment, but she's still doing good damage. Okay, she's going for it. She's got it. Okay, going down there and using it wouldn't be great, though. He says. It might be. Could be wrong. Here I go. Okay, Dark Samus can't use it yet. Richter has knocked it out of Dark Samus with 30 seconds left. This is pretty intense. There's also an assist trophy there. Appears to be going for Dark Samus, which has killed Dark Samus, and Richter was just about to use his final smash as well. So Richter is in place to win the Pro Championship. Dark Samus, though, fair play, done some really good damage in there. 29, which means that would be 3rd place. So if Pac-Man loses here and gets less than 1 through 9, which is probably quite likely in fairness, the energy source could get Sora. This could be crazy. Right, come on. Come on, Pac-Man, I want you to lose. I want you to come forth. You know? Come on. This is unreal if this happens, by the way. Absolutely unreal. Oh yeah, so far so good. Let's go, Little Mac. Destroy Pac-Man. Sorry, Pac-Man. Oh yeah, Pac-Man can't even get an attack at the moment. Okay, there's 1. It's got to be less than 139. It's another assist trophy there for Little Mac. And Pac-Man is struggling, which we love to see at this point in time. I've never rooted for someone to lose so much. Okay. Oh yes, Little Mac, that's a great hit. Oh no, he's just about to finish it. Pac-Man, just back off, yeah? Stop attacking. Yes! I think Sora could be going to the energy source, I think. Little Mac with the win. Come 2nd in the Pro Championship last time, so this could be 2nd place again. Pac-Man taking 56. Oh wait, no. What's happened there? Oh, I haven't taken Pac-Man's loss off yet. That'd be what? Yeah, so Pac-Man's currently 4th. So I'm pretty sure Sora's going to the energy source. It's like a dream come true. Can't believe it. Anyway, we go through to the final, which is Richter versus Little Mac. This should be an immense game. These guys have never fought before. This is pretty intense. Let's go.
3, 2, 1, go!
Okay. Old classic level here. And Richter is decimating. So I'm pretty sure Little Mac comes second last time against Robin. I can't remember fully, but I'm sure that's what happened. Okay, that assist trophy is making life trouble for Richter. So on a small level like this, that is chaotic. Richter seems to be getting all the attack, but not landing it. Okay, the fly swatter's out. Okay, Richter is struggling here. It's looking like the fossil fuels are going to get Ridley, which would make their team pretty awesome, to be honest. Richter stood no chance there, as Little Mac wins, which means that, well, I've already said it, but we'll hold fire. We'll do that first, then we'll do that one there. Excellent. Right, that has set it all up. So what I'm going to do now is... I forgot what I was going to do now. What I'm going to do now is go to the archives and we'll go through it together and see who is going to end up where. Let's go. Hey, I said let's go and we didn't even do Little Mac's celebration. What's wrong with me? Well done, Little Mac. Let's crack on. Finally, we've got to the end of phase 2, and this is where we find out the final draftings, which I've kind of said all the way through, but let's do it again. So we have, as you can see in the right, that's the rankings of the Delta League. It's like Ridley, Captain Falcon, Greninja, Sora, Ness, Chrom, Falco, and Roy the Boy. So we're going to find out where everyone goes. So as the Fuels 1, in there goes Ridley. Ridley to the Fossil Fuels. And then the Cosmo Vipers. Captain Falcon. Excellent stuff. Dark Samus gets Greninja for the Gorilla Limon. Now, I think Greninja was at the Limon once before. Not the best one, considering how good Dark Samus did there. And the most shocking one is Sora going to the energy source. Let's go! This has been the best day ever. Everything's working out. Yeah. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Anyway, so next up is Banjo, who is obviously for the energy source, and the source already have a fighter. So Banjo doesn't get anyone. Next will be the dudes who end up with Ness. The red robots end up with a brand new fighter. We did not want that. And Chrom, which means the tech get Falco, and the dogs all the way down here get Roy the Boy, which for the dogs is complete and utter rubbish. So let's have a look at how the full team rosters stand at this point. And there we have it, guys, the full teams. Now, if you want to actually see and look at who's in what team, don't forget to check out my social media where I'll have all the teams and who is in what. But for now, I'm just going to go through who has been drafted for what team. So for the Cockadoodle Dudes, they have Inkling and Ness, which I think is pretty good considering Inkling is brand new and Ness only had one series, and one series doesn't defy you. The Cosmo Vipers, Luigi and Captain Falcon. That's a little bit mid for the Vipers, who do look like they have a bit of a worse team this year. But I said that last year and they still come second. The Energy Source have Yoshi and Sora, which is an amazing duo considering that Yoshi, again, was in one series and Sora's a brand new fighter and, you know, an absolute legend. So the Source have an excellent team. But a better team than that is the Fossil Fuels, who have Kazuya and Ridley in their team, which is two brand new fighters. They also have Pyra and Mithra, Olimar, Little Mac, Link, Mega Man, Incineroar. Such a cool team. Wow. If I was to put my money on a team, it'd maybe be the Fossil Fuels. But I'm always wrong, so. Gorilla Limon have Joker, brand new fighter, Greninja. Yeah, it's a bit of a rubbish one. The Gumtech probably have the... Oh, well, I was going to say have the worst. They don't have the worst. Second worst. They've got Roy, who's not been in the Beta League before, so he could, you know, prove to be quite good there. Falco, it's a bit mid. When I say mid, I mean like pretty bad mid. The Red Robots have Corin, who is only just got relegated, so is a pretty good fighter. And Corin used to be at the Red Robots as well, so she returns there. And obviously Chrom, another Fire Emblem character. So Byleft's building a team of Corin and Chrom, which is amazing. All the Fire Emblem characters in the Red Robots, but Chrom, brand new fighter, could be good. And then the tragedy that is the Shroom Dogs. Wario, who they had last time, who was up there with Corin, to be honest, in relegation, but still got relegated, and was at the Shroom Dogs before. And Roy the Boy, who statistically is absolutely terrible. But that is it for all the teams, guys, and Phase 2 is officially complete. Watch this. All done, so all it will be now is you guys entering the Ultimate Dream Teams to make sure you've got your best team ready for the next series. I don't know when the cut-off will be. I say next series isn't this series, the next phase. I don't know when the cut-off will be, but I will let you guys know online and get you guys involved ASAP, and then we can get back to normal and start watching the Alpha Leagues and the Beta Leagues. But this has been all of Phase 2. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope each series it makes much more sense, because it's easy for me to ramble on because I understand it, but I understand if I don't get my point across to you guys. So any questions, always feel free to ask. But these are the teams for Series 3. I look forward to seeing you guys very soon.